Now our next major issue will be the lawnmower blade. So we need to pull that down, inspect it, and sharpen it. Let's see.
Hang on, Dale, let me get up under it.
Yeah, just trying to find.
Go.
Alright, so we're going to take this blade off here. Alright, so we ran into a situation where this bolt was just, we couldn't get it loose. So Dale had some of this PB penetrating catalyst that we sprayed on, let it sit for a moment, and kind of had to get it from a different angle, but we got it loose. So now we're able to remove this bolt here so that we can take the blade off, and Dale's going to give it a buffing, sharpen it up a little bit. Good. So this is the underside. We just loosen it like so. It's got these little protrusions right here that hold into these two spikes. It's basically your setup there, what holds your blade on.
And what we're going to do is we're going to walk over to our little grinder and we're going to try to clean these edges up. And once you start polishing or actually grinding material, you'll see things like a nick right there where they either hit a stone or a piece of metal or something in the ground. But as soon as we start doing a little grinding, it'll become more apparent. And always wear some eye protection of some sorts, and gloves are handy also. And you can see now better, you've got some pretty big, now you can see you had some bits and chunks and bites taken out of the blade from debris on the ground. You don't really try to sharpen it like you're trying to sharpen a knife. You're just trying to give it a good clean edge. If you sharpen it too fine, it will wind up actually dulling quicker and then just going back to beating your grass instead of cutting it.
You said something about getting into the metal too far, you get off the hard metal.
Right. Metal. If you run the grinder on it too long at one spot, you'll start discoloring the metal. It'll turn blue and a blackish color, and what you're actually doing is you're drawing the temper out of the steel, which means it will be softer and wear even faster. Another thing you'll try to do after you've cleaned the blade up is take a large shafted screwdriver and put it in the center. And this is showing what you do not want to see. We couldn't have had a better example. Let me turn it over and see how the other side is balanced. That it is far too heavy on this end, which either means one side of it is a little warped and bent, or I ground too much off of this end. So what I'll have to do is I'll come in and I'll trim some of the metal off of this and try to balance the blade. Well, back again, and the blade is still not balanced. And I do not want to cut any more off the cutting edge of the blade, so I'll wind up going back here on the lift blade. This is what lifts your grass, your air, and allows the blade to get a better purchase on the grass, cutting it better, and also makes it discharge. This is a mulching blade instead of just a cutting blade. Okay, at this point on the back of the edge, it didn't really matter that I burned the metal, but I just wanted to show you what happens when you get the steel too hot. It discolored, and it started to fray, and it drew the temper, which is the hardness, out of the steel. But that's on the back side where I'm just trying to take weight off so it'll get balance and the mower will run better. At this point, we've got a blade that's pretty well in balance, so we're just going to go with this and reinstall it.
And that's what you said, well, when you have a mulching blade, what else do you have to do?
Well, a mulching blade, a regular cutting blade has just very small angle on it. A mulching blade has a lot higher bits of angle, which means it keeps it in the cutting dome, they call it, the deck, so it has 4 or 5